Hello, everyone. Welcome to our program today, our class today. For those of you who are meeting me for the first time, and I'm meeting you for the first time, my name is Gloria Ramirez, and I'd like to present today a wonderful topic that I think all of us can benefit from, and it's 5 ways to cultivate compassion. And I think this is a topic that really can help us to kind of bring a little bit of maybe a deeper understanding about the topic. So I invite you to just be open-minded, open your heart, and if there is something that resonates with you, you can obviously keep it and maybe practice the ideas, and if not, then it's all perfect. This is an invitation only to maybe consider some of these ideas and embrace them in your life. So I'm going to go ahead and start with I'm going to minimize the window so that way we can see clearly the presentation. And talking about cultivating compassion, one thing that I definitely thought about, the first thing that thought about as I was putting together this PowerPoint presentation, is that compassion is the key to opening your heart. Why? Because you definitely need to have compassion and be kind to be able to open your heart, and not only to yourself but to others. And I love this quote from the Dalai Lama that says, "Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive." And what an amazing message! It's just so powerful. Love and compassion are necessity, meaning that we must be willing to share that love and that compassion with the world. Now, a lot of times we think that is our own love, our own compassion. No, what we can share with the world is, or with humanity, is the compassion, the love and compassion that runs through us. That is the love and compassion of God. That's how we refer to the idea of being channels of love. We can be channels of love. We can be channels of compassion only if we are willing to do it. And then when we feel that we are maybe behaving in ways that are not exactly compassionate, oh, well, the first thing to do is to forgive ourselves, and then to continue doing our best until it gets a little easier and easier. And a lot of times also we have to be committed to how can I say, um walking a journey, meaning that a lot of times we want for things to happen overnight, and for us to be able to, how can I say, if we start a practice, in this case, compassion, for example, that we become experts overnight. No, it takes practice, it takes time, it takes effort. And really, that has been my own experience. I have dedicated years, many years of my life to cultivating compassion and love. And the main thing about my journey is that, fortunately, many years ago, I realized that I had to start with um, cultivating compassion for myself and love for myself, because I understand that if it hadn't, if I, in those years, many years ago, I definitely didn't love myself. So therefore, how in the world was I going to be able to love others? That was very difficult for me to love others, to even say to someone, I love you. Why? Because I couldn't even say to myself, I love you. So it has been an amazing experience, that as a result of me focusing on loving myself, having compassion for myself, I have been able to develop a very amazing desire to love and be compassionate with others. Not only a desire, but really the practice in my daily life. Compassion for myself. I open my heart towards others. And this empathy that has been developed really have allowed me to create amazing relationships, not only with people around me, but obviously with my family. However, I have to say that it all started with myself. And my question to you right now is, do you feel that you are how can I say, like committed to yourself, to love yourself, to be compassionate to yourself, to respect yourself? And if the answer is yes, that's wonderful. But if there is a little bit of hesitation or doubt, or sometimes you find yourself not treating yourself with respect, then that's an invitation for you to find a way to change the energy, to find a way to change the behavior. And that's what I am going to talk about it today, 5 ways to cultivate compassion. And the first way that I like to present to you is, oh, before I do that, I wanted to ask you also this question, and for you to take a moment to reflect on the ways you show compassion to yourself or others. And just maybe you can close your eyes just for a few seconds, and just to see, to kind of think about the ways you show compassion to yourself or others. The reason for this question is because sometimes ego can be a little tricky and tell us that I don't know how to show compassion, or I don't know what compassion is, or it can be it can make us feel confused. But we don't have to be confused at all. We can just at this moment reflect and say, how do I show compassion to myself or others? And just think about it for a moment, just for a moment. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask you a few questions to see if you are going to maybe say, yes, I do it like that, or maybe I don't. For example, do you show compassion to yourself or others by being kind, being respectful, by being loving, or maybe you sometimes are short with others, not loving, maybe irritated, maybe impatient? So depending on your answer, all you do is just have an invitation to either keep being loving and kind and all of those things, or to strive to do that. The other question is, are you a person that cares about the well-being of others? Could be not only of your family members, but also of the human race in general. That's a way to show compassion, right? Or are you a person that show compassion by being generous? Maybe someone in need, and then you help that person. Or are you a person that show compassion by lending a hand because this person needs some kind of help, maybe at home, or maybe with the garden, or with anything, any part of the house, maybe organizing the house a little bit? Or do you show compassion to people that might need a little extra help, like elderly people, that maybe people in your family, or neighbors or friends? So you see, all these are ways to show compassion to yourself or others. And it's a way to remind ourselves that compassion has definitely different ways in which it can be expressed. And the secret is for us to be willing to express that compassion, to be so happy and joyful to help others, that we just feel that God is the one that is helping others. It's not even you, but it is God. So these are wonderful ways, and there are many, many other ways in which you can obviously show compassion to others or to yourself. Now, the first way or principle that I like to share here, and ways how you can show compassion, is the first one is start by practicing self-compassion. That's what I said at the beginning of this class. By you practicing self-compassion instead of being hard on yourself or self-critical, then you are going to develop that ability. And what a wonderful way to develop that ability, than to do it. What a better way to develop that ability than to do it with yourself. And one wonderful way to develop compassion is with your inner child. A lot of times we walk everywhere with that inner child that is wounded. Is that part of us that was hurt when we were children? That part of us that was not understood, that felt abandoned, whatever it is that inner child felt. The way to show compassion for that inner child is by talking silently with that inner child and reminding that inner child that he or she is a child of God, and that God loves him or her unconditionally. And what a beautiful way to practice compassion. So practicing self-compassion it really serves as a foundation for us to cultivate compassion towards others. But it has to start with ourselves, as I said a little earlier. And it is a well-known fact that we cannot offer what we do not possess. For example, if you have a very dried orange, it cannot produce juice. So if we lack the ability to be compassionate towards ourselves, it is going to be very difficult to offer that compassion to others. So the secret here is to learn how to be compassionate. And how we do that? Very simple. By speaking language that is positive towards ourselves, by having thoughts that are empowering, by having actions towards ourselves that are empowering. For example, treating the body with respect, exercising, eating properly, nourishing your soul with inspiration. Many, many ways in which you can really take the right actions towards yourselves. And also another way to really express compassion is by letting go of self-criticism. And then instead of criticizing ourselves, celebrating the steps that we are taking to become a better version of ourselves. Instead of putting ourselves down, we ask God to help us to see ourselves with His eyes, and to treat and honor ourselves as children of God. So very important to really start from within and develop that compassion. And as you develop that compassion, then obviously you are going to be able to develop compassion for others. This, I promise you, has been my own journey. I was self-critical. I was not happy with myself. It was awful. And little by little, with different teachings and coaches that I had, I was able to start um, changing all of that. So for a moment, close your eyes and think about the way you're treating yourself. Only either mentally with the thoughts that you accept in your mind, are they positive thoughts towards yourself? Or the way you talk to yourself, or maybe you put yourself down in front of other people, or maybe your actions are actions of not caring for yourself, not sleeping well, or exercising or eating properly. Think about how you are either not practicing self-compassion or practicing self-compassion. If you are not practicing self-compassion, don't worry, forgive yourself, and be willing to use positive language, to entertain positive thoughts, and to have actions that are also empowering. And if you are already treating yourself with compassion, then keep doing that. And then it can get better and better, because we can always go deeper in this journey of self-transformation. Now, you can go ahead and open up your eyes, and then let's go to the second way to cultivate compassion is speak with kindness. Oh, my dear friends, I cannot say enough about this. Really, I could be talking for hours and hours about this topic of speaking with kindness. And the reason why it's so important is because people are suffering, and we cannot keep putting them down or being hard on them. We have to be kind, even if they are behaving in ways that are difficult. Somehow, we have to approach them to let them know that we love them, that we are there for them. So, the power of our words can have a profound positive or negative impact on someone's life. And dear friends, the world is filled with people that are accusing others of so many things. Don't be one of them. Don't be one that points the finger at someone. Be the one who makes a big difference. Be the one that is going to see the presence of God in every one of them. Like Mother Teresa saw the presence of Jesus in every person. And Gandhi was able to free his people from India with nonviolence. That's powerful. So this is a very important point. And then if you are tempted to speak with unkindness, be willing to take a look at why, and take a look at how you could change that, how you can release that temptation. Because no, even if the person is wrong, it doesn't give you permission to be unkind. We must have the responsibility to speak with kindness. Just remember Jesus, how he was on the cross and he asked the Father to forgive them. Remember? That's amazing kindness. Why? Because no matter how wrong they are, we must find a way to pray for people, to be loving, and to be kind. So it's very important to make a conscious effort every day to treat everyone with respect. Dear friends, do not give yourself excuses about the idea that I didn't treat this person nicely because he didn't treat me nicely. No, do not answer at the same level of unkindness ever. Do not go ahead, and then you don't have to hear people putting you down, obviously, but you can go home and pray for that person, because that person needs a lot of prayers. So always, always look for ways that are uplifting. for you to be able to talk to people. And as you talk to people with kindness, I promise you, you know this quite well. You can you are not going to only bring happiness and peace to others, but also you are going to bring a great sense of satisfaction. You are going to go to bed and sleep with such serene way that you don't have anything to regret. So very, very important. So for now, let's go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and be sincere with yourself and think about it. Do I speak to others with kindness? Do I speak to myself with kindness? And feel how you are responding. You might say, yes, I do. That's wonderful. And you might say, no, sometimes I do not speak with people with kindness. Then go ahead and say, okay, my dear one, and you can say your own name. I'm willing to be kind from now on. God, you must help me. You must help me to open my heart, to be kind, to be loving, because you are a kind love. You are a loving God, and all you want is for us to treat your children, my brothers and sisters, with kindness. So help me and help me to let go of the anger or the unresolved emotions that I might have inside of myself. And this is why sometimes I'm not kind, because of what I am carrying inside of me. Talk to God. God is able to help you. So commit to being kind and to doing whatever. And if you cannot overcome this by yourself, definitely you can go ahead and seek counseling. And that way you are able to overcome that. I promise you that that's exactly what I did. I wasn't kind. I was angry a lot many years ago. And I wasn't nice. I was sarcastic. I was a difficult person. Unfortunately, by the grace of God, I was able to start working with programs that helped me to overcome all that nastiness and anger and all of that. And then little by little, I started to become a person that really was the person that God meant for me to be, a kind person. So be willing to do your part to just do whatever it takes to be committed to kindness. And so then you can go ahead and open up your eyes, and let's go to the third one. Listen carefully and without judgment. So right now, I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes and think about how are your listening skills? Do you listen carefully, or are you rushing to talk and to maybe come up with excuses about your behavior or anything that is going to justify you? Are you rushing to just maybe judge the other person without listening carefully? So go ahead and think about your behavior as a listener. Or are you a good listener that you just first listen to the person, and then if you have something to say, then you say, but you say it with kindness. And then you go ahead and respect the other person space, because that person wants to be heard, and you don't have to worry about having answers for that person. But what you um, are invited to do is to listen carefully. So think about that, about how you handle the topic of listening. And if you feel you have room to handle it better, then listen to this explanation of how important it is to listen carefully and without judgment. You can go ahead and open up your eyes. So listening is a very valuable skill that enables us to maintain a state of neutrality, meaning that you don't make any, you don't take sides. You just listen. So when you listen actively, you are conveying respect, and you are acknowledging to the person that is sharing with you that they are important, that they have the right to be listened to. And then not only by you listening to them, you empower them, but also they are able to discover their own solutions, because a lot of times when we talk little by little, it's like a light goes on inside of our heads, and we are able to maybe come with a solution to the problem. And you don't need to have any answers or recommendations for the person. All you have to do is offer a receptive ear, and that already can make a big difference. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to fix the problem. You can just listen and be willing to just be compassionate. And then if you are able to contribute with any ideas, it's going to be because you listen, because you pay attention to what they were talking. And as a matter of fact, that's what counseling or coaching is all about. It's not about telling people what to do. It's about listening carefully. And then once you listen carefully, then your intuition is going to let you know what to share with that person. Your own inner guidance is going to guide you to share with that person whatever it is that you are receiving through your intuition. So again, very, very important to be willing um, to listen. And that's a very, very big sign of respect. And the other way to cultivate compassion is to focus on people's strengths. That is very, very important. And why is this important? Because every person obviously has unique talents and abilities. We know that for sure. And that sometimes if we when we are willing to see what are the qualities and abilities, and we can shine a light on that, meaning that they are going to be able to see all of that better, because we are focusing on their strengths. And by doing that, we can empower them, and they can recognize their own worth, and then maybe shift their perspective to see the positive aspects within themselves. But we are not going to help them to see the positive aspects within themselves if we focus on people's challenges, or anything that we feel that is not positive. So we are going to help them by seeing whatever it is that we see as their strengths. And then we can definitely, as we help them to see their strengths, we can also help them to overcome the challenges that maybe have been there in their lives. And then because they are seeing that they do have strengths, they're going to be willing to say, okay, I don't have to keep thinking I don't have to keep thinking negatively about myself. I know that there is a solution available. I know that the solution is to focus on my strengths, on what is positive about me, and then from there, everything is going to get better and better. So focusing on people's strengths is a very, very powerful practice. So right now, go ahead and close your eyes, and then think about how you do that. Are you doing that with your family members? Are you doing that with yourself? Are you doing that with your coworkers? Or are you instantly when you see them focusing on any negative traits that they might have. You see the difference? It's a big difference. If you keep focusing on their strengths, you are going to be able to help them and then also have a better relationship with them. So see how you are embracing this topic, this idea of really concentrating on people's strengths. And if you are doing it, wonderful. If you are not, then all you have to do is just be willing to say no more. I'm going to go ahead and put my attention into the good things that I see in people. And why? Because that's going to help you to also do the same for yourself. Instead of being self-critical, instead of being maybe a little bit too perfectionistic, you're going to be able to really open your heart to embracing yourself and to bringing or awakening those strengths that you have in yourself or in others. So now you can go ahead and open up your eyes. Then the last point of a way to cultivate compassion is accept people for who they are. Isn't that one area that sometimes we just really miss the point big time, and is to try to convert people into who we feel they should be. And unfortunately, we do it with family members, with friends, with the spouse, with so many people. And we suffer a lot because what happens is that we are, what happens is that we are really expecting, we have expectations, and those expectations create a lot of disappointment. So accept people for who they are. Know that they are doing their best with what they know, and then if we keep accepting people as they are, we are going to be able to help them embrace themselves with love and with peace and with joy. So by embracing people as they are, you unlock the power that is within them to see themselves as powerful, positive, wonderful people. And the other way around, a critical mindset, unfortunately, often leads to disapproval and disappointment, and then we send the wrong message to people, in the sense of telling them that there is something wrong with them. And that's the challenge of humanity, is to constantly send the wrong message to people, trying to, how can I say, expect for them to behave according to our own desires, instead of respecting people. Accepting people and respecting people is exactly the same thing. So the more we are able to respect people, the more we are going to be able to accept people, no matter what they do or they don't or what they think. We are going to be able to be at peace with people, really accepting people as they are. And so the one other thing is that a lot of times we don't accept people the way they are, only because we don't accept ourselves. So the more we cultivate inner security, the more we are going to be able to embrace people for who they are. And so and not accepting people is a sign, really, of not accepting ourselves. So all we have to do is like do a little better job accepting ourselves, embracing ourselves, cultivating that quality of self-assurance. And then that is how we are able to just say, okay, as I accept myself, I also accept others as they are. So I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and think about the people around you and think about your family members. Are you accepting them as they are? Or you have a list of people that you are not accepting because they don't behave according to your rules or your expectations? Think about it. Think about how you might just be, how can I say, like making lists of people that are you include in your heart and people that you don't. And think about who they are and why you are doing that. And then think about how people are mirrors of something that they are showing, and they are showing in ourselves. So think about those people that you might be rejecting, how they have a trait or some behavior that you don't like in your own self, and that's the reason why you are rejecting them. Be willing to say no. I have to love and accept myself exactly as I am, and as I do that, I'm going to be able to love and accept others as they are. So feel how you just totally embrace the possibilities for people, and what a wonderful gift to give them to embrace them as they are. That is such a beautiful, beautiful gift. And I think the world needs more and more people who accept people who for who they are. That they no conditions. That's what an unconditional love is about. And that is the invitation, dear friends. So with these five ways to cultivate compassion, I think what a wonderful way to start the new year, by us being willing to say, okay, I can do this. I can practice every one of these ideas, and all I have to do is just do it one day at a time. Start by practicing self-compassion, self-respect, self-assurance. Then I speak with kindness all the time. Do not sell yourself short about this. Be kind to yourself and kind to others. Number three, listen carefully and without judgment. Very, very important. And then number four, focus on people's strengths, what's good about them. Everyone has amazing talents and abilities. And then five, accept people for who they are. People are who they are, and if they want to be different, they are gonna decide when they want to make some changes. Otherwise, you cannot force them to be different, and that's why it's important to accept them exactly the way they are. I invite you to consider these five tips and strive to cultivate compassion, even at a deeper level that you are already doing it. And so just imagine how we can, each one of us individually, impact the world as we bring more of these qualities into our daily interactions. That's a wonderful, wonderful invitation, I think, for the new year. So that's what I invite you to do, is to just be willing to consider going deeper with these practices. And now I'd like to go ahead and remind you that and this is very, very important, and is that a lot of times we want to do this by ourselves to overcome the obstacles. And that is very difficult because a lot of times, and as my teachers used to say, when you are in the picture, you cannot see the frame. So I invite you to really be willing to open your heart to allowing another person, a coach, to support you, to guide you. And I have a program that people love this program. I have lots of very, very powerful testimonials, and it's 12 Steps to Mastery. And the program, that's exactly what it helps you to cultivate compassion, to cultivate self-love, to be willing to let go of the past and embrace the present and create a better future. So to get more information about this program, all you have to do is to go to gloriaramirez.com and then / 12 Steps to Mastery. And then remember that the first month of the first Thursday of each month, that's when I facilitate these classes. And the next one is going to be February 1st, and it's called 5 Principles to Maintain Inner Peace. Sometimes we humans say, oh, this and this person is taking my inner peace. No one can take your peace away except if you allow it, if you let that person take your peace away. So we're going to talk about these 5 principles on Thursday, February the 1st. And then for now, if you feel that maybe you have been inspired by this class, you can make a contribution at gloriaramirez.com / giving. And all you have to do is just go to that website and then donate whatever it is that you like to donate. And then I thank you for your presence, for your willingness to really continue to receive inspiration. Thank you so much. And we are going to go ahead and go into our session of Q&A in case there are any questions or anything you'd like to talk about or clarified. This would be the place. So let me go ahead and take you there. One moment, please.